What's going on, guys? We're back with a new project. A little different than the normal projects that I use on this or do on this channel anyway. No, it's not motorcycles and it's not bass, but it is guaranteed to be very, very loud. Let me show you here. And in here, I got a whole lot of bang. You can see here, this entire bed is full of fireworks. And it's not a typical 6-foot bed, but it's still completely full, if you can see all the way up in there. So we do an annual fireworks bash here at our place, and over the years everybody started calling it Red, White, and Burba, kind of fitting for the last name. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys how I put these together. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Some people do it different, but I do it my way, and I always have good success with it. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you guys how I do it all. Stick around.
Check this.
All right, first things first, I got to get some stuff cleaned up and straightened up. I already started getting some of the bikes out here. I got to get the other bike and the quad out, get some of this stuff cleaned up in here. So I got some room to work. I'm going to put those over here beside the Blazer. It's tucked away in its little corner. I should have enough room to get the bikes in there. So I'm going to get some of this stuff cleaned up and I'll start unloading, and I'll show you some of the goodies I got this year. All right, got everything unloaded, set up here for video purposes. As you can see, I got some good stuff here. I'm really excited to see, you can't really see them, but back here, these are the new VIP finale packs. I can't wait to see what those things are in person. The videos, they just look wicked. But I got some other good ones. Those 5-inch canister shells, those echoes in the ears are loud. And behind that, I got antimatter containment. Those are 6-inch shells. A boatload of ball shells for my racks, and I'll show you those later in my video. A whole bunch of 500 grams and 200 gram cakes. So pretty excited. This is a pretty good haul this year. I couldn't pass up the deal I got on these from Chillicothe Fireworks. Killer deals, great prices. So couldn't pass them up. I've been buying from them for the last few years now. And the rewards program that I'm in there, it's got some really good perks. I got some of this stuff for free, so can't complain about that. So now, next process is getting these broke down, getting all the ball shells out. I'll show you what I always unpackage all those. I don't use the tubes that these come with because they're cardboard. I mean, you could use them, but I got I can't think of what they're called, but I got proper tubes for them. And then I got some fiberglass tubes that I use as well. So we'll get these broke down, get it all out of the package, and then the cakes, the 500 and 200 gram cakes, I'll show you what I do with those, with the tops and all that stuff. So I'm going to get a table set up, and I'll start breaking some of this stuff down, and I'll show you what I do with it. All right, I already started taking the tops off of some of these. I always like to start with the small ones and work my way up to the big ones. That way I can stack them and put them where I want them, so I can grab them accordingly to how I'm putting them on my board. A few reasons why I like to cut the tops off of these. One reason is it cuts down on cleanup, and I will show you here. By cutting this top off, you're going to see not only a lot of times is there a layer of the paper that's on top, but a lot of times you're going to see there's another piece of cardboard here underneath of it. You don't have to take them off, but you're going to have more of a mess to clean up because it's just going to shred these as it comes off, and it's just going to land and lay everywhere. Bigger mess to clean up. That's one reason. Another reason is I can visually inspect these to see if everything looks good. See if everything's consistent. They all look like they're loaded well. which I've only found like one maybe in all the years I've done this that I said, nope, I'm not going to shoot that. That doesn't look safe. That's another reason. Another reason is a lot of times they're labeled, but sometimes it's not so well. As you can see here, I don't know if you can see here in the camera, some of these tubes are angled. You're going to want to see how you're going to face these towards your crowd. This one is labeled, but it's real small at the very top. It says, face this side towards spectators for a better view. That's another reason that I do it. That's just some of the few reasons why I do it. And also, I go ahead and find where the fuse is. And I'll also pull that fuse. And a lot of times, if you give it a gentle tug, you can pull more of that fuse out to work with. That way, once I put these on my board and get them glued down, after I figure out how I'm going to route my fusing, then those are already pulled. I'm not trying to pull them off while they're already glued down, and I can just run my fusing right across it, tape it to it, good to go. And I think there was one other reason I was going to explain, and now I'm dumbfounded. Yeah, if I think about it, I'll explain more to you. But I'm going to work on getting some of these, because I got like, I don't know, 58 of them to get the tops taken off, so it's going to take me a while. All right, took me a couple 2 hours. Got everything, all the tops off, some of the bottoms, because you got to watch those. Some of these bottoms will have paper on those too, and doesn't do much good to glue paper to a board if it's just still going to come off of it. So I take some of the bottoms off too. So I think there is close to 60 cakes here total. Those are all my 200 grams, all the 500s. And I got that one for free. I don't know where I'm going to put that. And then part of my finale, those 6 there. So yeah, I got them all broke down, got all the mortars. That's what I always do with these. I always get them all untied out of the package, all that stuff. I throw them in buckets for now, because eventually I got to get up here and dig out that mess. I got 4 racks up there that I could load. And then I like to hand reload while the show is going on too. So I got several of those that come with the new ones I got this year, those tubes. And I got, again, a bunch more tubes up there. Got some Excalibur tubes and stuff up there. So we'll reuse some of those. But I think it's part of the fun of reloading. Like I said, I'll show you the way I set my boards up with one fuse. So while a board's going off, if I misjudge the timing on the cakes and anything slows down a little bit, I always got a couple people helping me. I'll yell at them and say, you know, send 1 or 2 mortars up. That way it doesn't slow the pace down. So that's it for tonight. Like I said, got all that broke down. And tomorrow, we'll get back to it. I'll start laying out my boards and gluing and fusing. See you guys tomorrow. Back at it today. What you're looking at here is last year. This is one of my finale cakes from last year. It blew apart and not all of it went off, and I was able to save this much of it here. So what I think I'm going to try to do is put this together as much as I can, get it all wrapped up, and I'm going to try and use it in this year's show. So I'm going to see what I could do here. I got a couple individual tubes, and I got like a piece here that blew apart. I should be able to poke. Where's the fuse? Well, I should be able to poke the fuse back into that. Put this all back together. So I'm going to work on this and see what I can come up with. Alright, I was able to salvage some of them. Those ones there, I'll do something else with those. But this one, I was able to put it together, wrapped it up, and rename it. We'll call that the Bass Cop Sound Pressure Special. But that'll be 60 shots. So I was able to poke fuses and put these all back together. So what I think I'll do with this is I'll put this in the beginning of the show with what I already had planned for the beginning of the show, just in case it doesn't go off or it quits going off halfway through or whatever. That way no one knows anything. I'm not going to stick this in the middle of the show somewhere for it to fail, and then I have a gap in the show. So yep, I was able to put that back together. And then these ones here, I might just try to wire those in with a cake of about the same size or something like that. But yeah, so another 60 shots added to the show. Okay, putting my first board together here. So I've been working on gluing the cakes down and start the fusing process. So the way I like to do my shows is I like to start my show with a big banger, and this current event cake is a pretty good one. It's pretty rapid and pretty loud, and then of course this one that I put together that hopefully it works. So I like to really send a lot up right off the start. Plus I'll also hand fire some mortars in my mortar rack that I've moved over there. You know, it kind of gets everybody's attention, and then I'll slowly start working in the 200 grams, kind of like I said, get their attention, and then kind of slow the pace down just a little bit. Now some of these 200 grams are pretty powerful. I like to get the ones that's got some punch to them. Just slow it down a little bit, and then I work on my 200 grams, and then I slowly work into the larger cakes, and I still got to get my racks down for my mortars, but I'll start incorporating racks of mortars into it too as I take that pace and start picking that pace up. So I've already started fusing this together. So this will be the start. This will be one light. We'll do this whole board. So what I'm doing here is using some of my leftover fuse from years past, just to get it used up. So what I do is I don't know how long this is going to last. I know this lasts about 32 seconds. This was out of a finale cake, so it is wired together with the pink fusing. So it is a faster paced cake. So I'm just going to say this whole thing, this 90 shots right off the bat there, is going to last 32 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I've already wired it in here, taped it up, but 32 seconds, and then I'm going to delay the time. So about the time these stop going off or get close to stop going off, this one here will start. So this fuse has a burn rate of about a foot every 27-28 seconds. So what I do is I just figure up how much I need to get to last 32 seconds from here to here. So this works out to be about a foot. So then I just position this where I can wire in a foot of wire into this one. So like I said, about the time these stop going off, this one will start. So then I know this one lasts about 13 seconds. So then I know I need to move or pull out enough fuse to hit this. So this burns from here to here in about 13 seconds. Give or take whatever that works out to be. So 13 seconds, that burns about 28 seconds a foot. So it's probably going to be about 6-7 inches maybe. So I will position my cake on the board. Like I said, I'll figure this up, but then I will wire it into this one. After this one stops going off, then this one should start going off, because my fuse will hit this one. And then this one here, I'm not sure how long that lasts off the top of my head. Let me look here. That's Tiger Bomb. So Tiger Bomb lasts about 24 seconds. So then I know I'm going to need about another foot of fusing to go from Tiger Bomb to my next one that I put on the board here. So, and then it just keep repeating the process. You got to know how long your cakes last, give or take, and then put in that much fusing. I hope that If you're watching this, you understand this. So this, like I said, this is my opener. I call it Q1. I don't have a firing system. I like to hand fire everything. Like I said, we'll start it with this one. This would be Q1. I draw an arrow on it so I know which way I want this to face the crowd. And I would just keep wiring or fusing the next cake to the next cake to the next cake on here. And I'm going to try and get as many on here as I can. And then I can figure out the time of the whole board. And I keep a track of what it is here. And then I have that itinerary out in the field. So I know, say this one, when it's all said and done, is going to last, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I don't know if that's what it's going to be. So I know I could keep a track of watching this, and I'll know when it's about to be done. And then I can just walk over to my next board and hit it and walk away. And then I can go back and watch and make sure everything's going good. And then, like I said, I got mortar racks over here, and I got some tubes there that I keep, and I'll have that preloaded. And then if it slows down, something stops, I could send a few of those up. I got a couple other people that'll help me. I'll tell them to send a few up. I can run over and see what's going on with this and see if I can't get it going again, and then just keep the show moving slow, or not slow, show moving smooth. In past, hope, knock on wood, this doesn't come back to bite me, I've never had a board stop. The fuse always burns all the way through the board. The only issue I've had in the last 10-15 years was where I put this back together, that cake blew apart. That's really the only issue. So like I said, I'm going to keep putting this together, and I will check back in with you and show you the progress. Okay, board one complete. Everything is glued, fused, and taped. And as you can see, I tape all of my fuse. That's just in the event that if a spark or something, we have a low break and it throws sparks and everything down all over the cakes that haven't went off yet, that no chance of a premature board going off because a spark got to it. So I always just cover all my fusing up, as you can see here, all the way around to the end of the board. So it's going to start here, hit this one, purple haze, tiger bomb, neon rainbow, brute force, diamonds in the dark, red hot and blue, top maverick, and strongman. That end that board. So I figured it up. That board's going to be almost 3 minutes. Not quite as long as I want it, but that's fine. That'll give me 3 minutes to do a couple other things while I'm out there. So now I'm going to work on board number 2. Got it all laid out. And we'll continue with 200 gram cakes. As you can see, I got quite a few there. Well, I got quite a few 500s. But anyways, so I will do this board. So since I'm not starting with a 500 gram in this concoction that I built, I should be able to get more cakes on this board. So I'll probably be able to get this board to last anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. So I'm going to start laying this out. All right, board number 2 is done. Everything is glued and fused. See how many cakes we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 on that one. My next board, I'm going to try and put 14. Obviously, I got more room, but I got a couple of the bigger ones that I'm going to put into that one. Like I said, to speed up the intensity and this overall speed of the show, to gradually build it into the more bigger stuff. On my next board here, I'll show you how I glue these down. And this fusing, like I said, one fuse. Start here, it'll hit this one, then this one, and then go all the way down the board, across, and then here, and then jump to there. Now that's spaced far apart because that's the timing of my fuse. Now, like I said before, I tape all my fusing over, like I said, in case there's a low break or a spark from something else comes. I don't want open fuses here and it prematurely set the whole thing off, because once it starts, I can't stop it, and it doesn't hurt. You can tape a fuse right to the cake. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Might catch on fire after the fact because it's going to go off, but that's why I keep buckets of water and fire extinguishers in the event that a fire gets too crazy. We can hit it with some water. But like I said, you could tape it right to the cakes. Yes, occasionally they do catch on fire after the fact. Usually after they went off, they'll catch on fire. Not always, but that ain't gonna hurt nothing. Like I said, and I'll just watch it. If fire gets too crazy, we'll try to put it out and carry on with the show. So that's it. So like I said, I got one board there and one board there, and then I should have another board of entirely 200 gram cakes, and then it'll slowly work into the big old pile of the 500 grams. I'll go call it a night. I got to go work tomorrow. After work tomorrow evening, I'll come out here and get another 2 or 3 boards put together. Today is Friday. I don't know what the date is, but 4th of July is Thursday coming up. So I like to get these done a couple days ahead of time. That way this glue can set up, and as you can see, that's starting to set up already. It ain't going nowhere. That's why I glue them down so they don't blow over. Nothing like that. Then it makes it a lot easier. I could help somebody else. I could pick this up and move it and put it out in the field where I want it. Like I said, we'll wrap it up tonight and we'll pick back up tomorrow. Alright, it's been a couple days. I've continued to work on these some. A couple hours here, a couple hours there. I got 5 boards done now. All my 200s, and then starting into the 500 gram cakes. And I just finished this one up, and I'm starting on the next one. I got, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cakes left. And besides what I'm going to use for my finale board, which is going to be a larger one, because those will take up quite a bit of room, plus a couple other cakes I'm going to use. I'm running out of wood. I got these 2 pieces left. I wanted to get it all in one piece, but I guess I'll do 2 pieces since this is what I've got. I'll just fuse them together in the field and call it one board. Like I said, I got those done, and then I told you guys I would show you how I glue these and fuse them. So let me get to that. Alright, I don't know how well you can see this, but here's the fuse to start this one. And then I got my, if I can get a hold of it, I got my fuse here. I'll show you what I do here. Now you can either tape it, or you could use zip ties. I've always used tape. I've never had any issues. I have used zip ties before. Like maybe that's what I'll do when I put these 2 boards, fuse these 2 boards together out in the field. But traditionally I just use tape. I like to use the little thicker or the wider tape, not like 2 inches wide, but gives me more to work with, because sometimes those little ones and big fat fingers, it don't work too well. So I always tape piece of tape to the here. Now since this is going to be the start of this board, I'll kick this out a little bit. And then you always want to run your fuse the same direction as the fuse going into the cake. So say you don't want to put this end. For example, if this is on another cake, you don't want to have your fuse burning this way when it needs to burn that way. That's not saying that it's not going to catch and burn, but it's just good rule of thumb to do it this way. So what I always do is I always make sure you get at least an inch or more of the 2 fuses together, and then just fold it over, squeeze it real good, and I fold it over again, and now it's fused. Well, like I said before, you could tape this fuse right to the cake. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. So now let me grab my tape and my time. I got everything wrote down here. So burger hornets, I know this last. Let me find it here. Okay, this is 42 shots, and I know it lasts approximately 27 seconds. So I need to figure out how much fuse I need to hit the next cake that I'm going to glue down on here in 27 seconds or so. So this usually burns, this green, I've used, there's different colors. Green's usually the slowest. It burns at about 2 seconds an inch, give or take. It just depends. Sometimes they burn a little faster, sometimes they burn a little slower. So I always go at about 2 inches or so. So I know my next one's 27. This cake lasts 27 seconds, I'm sorry. So I need to time this out here. So I know my fuse here, so I'm going to go here. And I'm going to measure out, let me see, half of 27. Let's see, 13 and a half. So I need 13 and a half inches of fuse. So I always use this, I don't know if you can see it here. I always use this Taylor's tape because it's flexible. So there's 13 and a half inches, which is going to be 27 seconds. And then I always just hold it and then I kink it right there in that area. It's not going to hurt the fuse. I just kink it that way. I know where it needs to go. And then I can move on to putting my next cake on the board and figuring out exactly where I need to place it in relation to, and that's longer. I ran into this earlier and I totally forgot about this. All right, I'll have to figure something out. I'll be back. Okay, so there's no other way I could link the next one together within the approximately 27 seconds that I figured up that cake is. So it's going to be a little longer fuse burn, which ain't that big a deal. Like I said, they're 2 to 2.5 inches a second. Or 2.5 seconds to an inch. So it's not a great big deal. At this point of the show, we're going to be firing by reloading mortars by hand anyways. So if there is a bit of a gap, there'll probably be, because I'll usually have 2 or 3 people that I set up with stations on mortars. There'll probably be 3, 4, 5 ball shells, canister shells in the air at that point anyway. So not a huge deal, but you just want to sometimes think about, I should have laid this out a little more before I did this and shot it on video, but no big deal. So we're going to get this next one here, and this is what I talk about the paper here. Just going to cut the paper off. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just get down to that wood. Sometimes that paper can stick pretty good. And again, we're just going to glue it. Doesn't matter, like I said, how you do it, how you pattern it. As long as you got a good bit on there, it'll be just fine. Take it and set her down. Give her a little push. I'll go over there and wire this in. Alright, like I said, you always want to run your fuse in the same direction. I'm going to get on this. Get that piece of paper off there. I can't get it off the finger. Get a piece of tape on it. Get it pressed in real good. Take my fuse. I'll run it right beside it. Like I said, you want at least an inch of touching it. And just roll it over. And just like that. I'll tape that to the side of the box. And I'm just like that, on to the next one. Okay, change of plans. This is all I'm going to put on this board, and I'm not going to do an additional to it because I got to thinking about it. So I stopped and went back and started adding up some of my times on these, and I'm at roughly 24 minutes right now, and that's not including the finale and the 70-some mortars that's going to get loaded in my racks up there. So I'm just going to take the rest of my cakes. I'm going to add one more to this board. I've got room to add it. So I'm going to add one more to it. And then I'm going to take and put the rest in the finale. I like to keep my shows between, well, I would say between, I like to keep my shows around 25 to 30 minutes, give or take. People like me would love to just sit and watch fireworks all the time, but some people, you start losing their attention, whatever. I don't care how good of a show it is sometimes. They get a little, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Anyways, I like keep it around 30 minutes, give or take. So that's going to put me close to my 30-minute mark. If I'm not exactly 30 minutes, I don't care. Plus, I got to figure out my playlist that I'm going to use because I usually set these to music too. So I got to figure all that up too. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to call that a night. Like I said, I showed you guys how to glue and fuse. So tomorrow after work, I will finish putting that other one on there. And then I will work on the finale board, and I will get my racks down. Like I said, they're all the way up there. See if the orange tips of the tubes there. I'll get those down, and then I got 2 buckets worth of mortars I got to get loaded. Now these ain't going to all of them go in a rack. Like I said, I always set up stations, and I'll have 2 or 3 people helping me hand fire them too, because to me that's just fun. I love to reload and shoot them. So like I said, there's my little rack over there, and then I'll put some racks together for my helpers. Like I said, usually to start the show, I don't do a whole lot of mortars. I like to build it up, let it get bigger and bigger. So about midway through the show, I'll tell my guys to start sending mortars and stuff up. The other time I'll have a mortar in the air. At that point would be if there's a gap somewhere in here, we'll send a couple of them up just to fill that gap. But like I said, that's just kind of how I like to do my shows. So that's where I'm at now. So 6 boards. I got my finale rack to do, and I've got my racks to do. So that's it tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, board number 7, going to be part of the finale. Worked off camera after work here tonight. Oh, I don't know. Remember if I finished off with, only doing 3 on that one, and I'm going to add this one to this board once I get things moved around in here because I'm running out of room real quick. But anyways, this is the finale board. I got it all glued and fused. And I'll zoom in here for you here. I wouldn't say zoom in, I'll kneel in. So, this is all speed fused, or the white fuse, which burns a foot a half second. So it's just like that, it goes pretty quick. But anyways, so I got about 8 inches here of the visco fuse or the green fuse. That way I could light it and walk away, not have to run or any of these, especially with these angled ones, that sucker immediately start going off and hit me before I'm out of the way. So that gives me some time to walk away. But then it's linked into the white fuse here, and you can see here I got it going. I got that run going around that side of the cake, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But it's going to immediately hit. I mean, it's going to go all the way down through there, all the way down the bottom of the board there. But it's going to hit these first. I want those to go first, and these. So these 3 and these 3 should all start going off at the same time, and then it'll slowly start hitting these other 500-gram cakes, which I visco fused from there. So when that hits, it's going to burn. It's going to start these fuses, but these are going to go about 10 to 15 seconds later. This one, this one, this one, and that one. And the reason for that is I don't want everything going off at the same time and having a bunch of sky puke. If you don't know what sky puke is, look it up. It's where you got hundreds or thousands of shots going off at one time. I'm going to scroll through here. So I haven't taped this up yet, but here's the white fast fuse. So I ran it over here, and I'm going to tape this off eventually, but this is going to hit my racks. I'm going to have a couple racks in the finale too, my mortar racks. So what I'm going to do is I'll slow this down again before it hits the racks. That way this finale should last about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, give or take. So it should work out pretty good. I figured it up earlier. Now I can't remember. I think there's going to be about 500 shots total for the finale, so it shouldn't be too bad. I finally drug my racks down. They may look crude, but they work. These ones here, I built like 20 years ago. Whipped them together with some scrap wood. That's back in the day when I shouldn't have used PVC, but I used PVC. But now I got the HDPE tubes, and you could buy these. You could buy these online. The more you buy, the cheaper you get. I think when I bought all these, let me get it out here. They come plugged. Like I said, you can buy these online. And the more you buy, the cheaper you get them. I think I ended up getting these for like $1.25 a piece. There's another old racket, and these ones are only a few years old. I had a bunch of scrap wood left over after building a new deck around the pool, and I was like, well, okay. So I whipped those together pretty quick. So that's just scrap wood. They're nothing fancy to look at, nothing spectacular, but they get the job done, and that's all that matters. So these ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. These are 16s, and those are 20s. Eventually, I want to start adding more racks. Probably next year, I will buy some more tubes and build some of my own more racks. But I want to build some bigger racks, maybe like a 40 or a 60 rack. Maybe 1 or 2 of those. But that's for next year. Got to work with what I got right now. So I'm going to start getting these loaded, and I've already made sure that there was nothing in these. Probably can't see in the tubes. I'm not going to get my light again. But I already made sure there was nothing in these tubes, and we'll start getting these loaded up. All right, so these are the shells that I'm shooting. I got some 6.6 canister shells. I got a whole bunch of those, and then I got several 5-inch canister shells, and then the good old ball shells. These are 2 ball shells. You can't, if you could push in the tops of these, they're not. It's not a full load, but these are pretty solid. So this is, should be pretty good. I've loaded some already, and some of these fuses are longer than the others, so I may have to extend these because that's not much room to work with. Now you can like hang it out the side, and as it burns, it's going to drop down. But I may just put some extenders on those because I don't want these all going quick. I want these to hit in a pretty sequential pattern at a decent pace. So like I said, the ball shells, just make sure you load them correctly. Lift charge on the bottom. This round ball goes on top, and you just simply drop them in there. And then the canister shells, they're always labeled top. You don't want to load these upside down. These are pretty potent, 60 gram loads. So those are just pretty simple. Just drop them. I got plenty of fuse there. So I'm going to start wiring these up, I suppose. Fusing them up, whatever you want to call it. Don't know how I'm going to do this exactly yet. I don't know. I'm going to use these, I think these 2 racks as my finale, part of my finale. I don't know if I want to use all ball shells, all canister shells, or a mixture of the two. I have to do some figuring here, because I want plenty of canister shells that we're going to hand load, reload throughout the course of the show, because I think that's the funnest part for me anyway. Besides doing all this, I know some of you who does this might not think this is the fun part, but this is just as fun as setting them off to me. But there's just something about being dropping mortars and lighting them and being in close proximity to them when they go off. But anyways, I'm going to keep working on these, and we'll be back. Yep, that's what I ended up having to do, is just extend a bunch of them. Got, what is it, 32 of them loaded here now. So now I got to do more fusing. What I did was took a bunch of short rolls that I had left and some scrap, and I cut them up into these little guys there, just to make these a little longer. That way it's just easier to run my main fuse to it. I still got all those to do, but there's going to be some canisters and stuff in that. So as you seen just a minute ago, that those canister ones are a little longer. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. I've been out here for like 3 hours. I worked 12 hours today. I'm tired. So let's see here. Today is July 2nd. So tomorrow, July 3rd, shouldn't take me but maybe another hour to finish these up. And then I'll show you what I do with the foil and stuff with these. So we'll wrap this up tomorrow, and then hopefully we can shoot these on the 4th if the weather is cooperating. See you guys tomorrow. All right, back at it. Another late night in the garage. Been a long day. A lot of prep work outside, mowing, trimming, blah, blah, blah. That takes me 6-7 hours to do alone, plus other normal everyday stuff I had to do. So, but this is all I got to do to finish this besides setting it up in the field, is get these racks done. So I got these fused up. What I've done here is I'll trim this once I start setting everything up to the appropriate length. I just left the extra just to have. And what's going to happen here is it's going to zigzag. So it's going to hit here, 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 etc., all the way down. And I got these timed different increments, but it's going to slowly pick up the pace all the way through. And then when I get here, this one's going to go even faster, and it's the same way. Let me back up here. Let me jump over here. So I left some over here too. Coming off of this is one continuous fuse all the way through. Coming here, I left some extra here because I'm going to tie it into this one. So that's why I got the extra here. And then it's going to start hitting. And like I said, I got this time faster. So towards the end, because this is going to be part of the finale, they should be going faster. But I don't want them all going up at once. Like I said before, because I don't want a bunch of sky puke. I want this thing to last about a minute and a half, give or take. So that should work. So like I said, leave the extra fuse over here to tie it to here, because I'll essentially just set them right beside each other, fuse them together. And leaving extra fuse isn't overkill or nothing like that. Like I said, it just gives me room to work with. But those are all together, and I'll show you what I do with the aluminum foil. Alright, I simply just cover it with aluminum foil and taper up, make sure it stays on there, on the sides anyways. Those shells, they'll blow right through that. Not a problem at all. So really, this would be the only, I guess, mess that I have to clean up besides the general mess that it's going to leave. It won't be like all the paper if I left all the paper on top of all the cakes. But like I said, it'll blow right through this. And then yes, these will get taped up in the field. I just left that out for now. So once like I said, I link these together, I'll tape that off. And I don't know if I've said it before, the reason I do that is because look at all the fusing that you have exposed. Cover it up, that way an ember, a spark, something doesn't fall down on this and set those off prematurely, or even set the whole finale off, since these are all going to be tied together. So covered up aluminum foil and play it safe. So I am going to get this one done, get these racks off of here, and get those ones up here and start getting them loaded. Okay, this one is done. I didn't zigzag this one. This is going to start from here. Like I said, I can leave the extra on there. I'll trim it in the field to whatever I need it. But this one's going to go straight down this way, come back this way. Now with this one, to change the pacing on it, that way, you know, it's not going too fast or too slow at any given time. On some of these, and you can see here, it's kind of sticking up in various places. I added extra wick just to slow down the pace, and then some of them are closer together, so a couple of them go off pretty quick. So just to break up the monotony of just one going doom and another one going doom. I don't want it to go too fast, but I don't want it to go too slow, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get this one wrapped, and last one. Alrighty. Got those done. Tuck those over to the side, and everything else is done except for setup tomorrow. And still got a whole bunch of mortar rounds. Why, you ask? Because it's fun to reload. I love it. So like I've said in the past, that's the little rack that I got for reloads. And then I got 18 other tubes sprinkled over there. So I'll set those up for a couple other people that help. They'll have like, I don't know, I think there's 18 tubes there. So I can give everybody 6, 7, 8 tubes a piece. And then what I usually do is I tell those guys to load. And then everybody fires one or two at a time, or not, back that up. And then one person fires one or two at a time. And then after they're done, the next guy and the next guy. And we'll start really setting those off towards the end before the finale. So if the timing's right, if everybody listens to me when I say to shoot, everything should be good to go. But that's it except for setup. So tomorrow, hopefully it doesn't rain. We're watching the forecast. It may not. I don't know. We're playing it by ear. We're going to have fun. So I'll check back in tomorrow with setup out in the field. Okay, I lied. Still prepping. I got all the reload stations done. Like I said, just use the I like to use either the HDPE, those are some old caliber shells, and then the fiberglass tubes. I don't like to use the I don't like to use the cardboard ones, except for these guys here. I didn't mean to buy those. That was an accidental purchase, but we'll make them work. So what we'll do is I got these screwed to a board. Now these boards will get screwed down. Usually I set sawhorses up. Somebody say that's not safe, but I'll take these out there and those will get strung across sawhorses. I got others out in the other building, and my father-in-law's bringing some down. We'll screw those down to the sawhorses, and then I usually put bricks to secure them down a little bit too, just so they don't get knocked over or whatever. So I'll take you over here. I got everything set up. Those are the 1-inch canister shells for those little tubes. And then these are kids stuff, sparklers and stuff like that. There's stuff I need for out in the field. For setting up, last minute fusing that I was telling you about by linking some of those together. And then everybody's got their own reloads. So everybody's got about the same even amount. So yeah, that's what we do. At least that's what I do. It's fun, especially reloading. I think that's some of the funnest parts. But yeah, now that we got all this set up, we're gonna start loading these in the truck, and we're gonna take these out to the field where we shoot them. I'm not setting them up yet. We got a building out there as well. We're gonna set all these in the building out there. That way, if it rains or whatever, because we're supposed to get a line of rain, it's pretty sunny out right now. The sun's going away now, but we got some blue skies here. It says we got a line of storms coming at about 3 o'clock. we're not even starting to cook out and everybody coming till 6 o'clock. So, but those line of storms should be coming through, and it looks clear after that. So probably about 8 o'clock, if everything's good to go, I'll start setting all this up. All we got to do is take it out of the building, a couple 100 feet over to the shoot site, and we'll set everything up. All right, I've been too busy having a good time with friends and family here that I forgot to video this setup before it got too dark, and now it's too dark, so hopefully we can see here. So here's what I was talking about. Got these screwed down. Those are reload station 1, 2, and 3. And then I make everybody keep their shells back here in a tote. They do not reload until the tubes are empty. They take, reload, that is sealed back up, and it's got to go behind them. And then here's all my boards laid out here. So here's 1, 3, and 5 back here. 4, or 2, 4, and 6. And here's what I was talking about. So I'll hit this fuse right here, and it'll burn through everything. And I've got this linked together now to hit those. And then the same for this board. Got it linked to hit those. Like I said, I got 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 3, and 5 there. And then here's the finale all put together. These are going to hit first. These VIPs are going to hit at the same time, and then in about 15 second increments, these 4 cakes are going to start hitting, and those should hit the yeah, I can't talk, my racks there. So there's a little over 500 shots there just in all that, so it should be a good time. So we're going to hit them big right off the bat, and I'm going to send up 6 shells there, and then we're going to kind of slow it down a little bit, like I said before, and start hitting some of these 200-gram boards. So to go this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then finale. But we're not going to start shooting mortars until we start getting to these 2 boards, because I have about 10 minutes. We each got 36 reloads, so we should be able to, between all of us, send up all those in that time, and then we'll hit the finale. So I got somebody else recording this tonight. We're going to see how this works, and I was going to set my camera up, but it's not that easy to get it set up and find the angle without being able to shoot. So we're set up here. Everybody is over here. So they're well over 200, about 250 feet away from all this. So we should be pretty safe. So that's it. So if you're still with me at this part of the video, I greatly appreciate it, because when I started editing this, I didn't realize how much I actually filmed. So this is a quite lengthy video. So before we get into the actual show, if you remember, I mentioned earlier in the video that I had somebody else film it. And it kind of got messed up, so we only got part of the show. We only got the second half of the show because they were live streaming it to Facebook at the same time they was recording it, and because of the music being played in the background, Facebook took part of it down, and we wasn't able to recover it. But we was able to recover the second half of it after it got taken down from Facebook. So I apologize for that. But the good parts are in it, the finale's in it and all that stuff. So you'll see there's a little bit of a timing issue in a couple spots, and you can see we set some mortars up like I explained in the show. When you do fusing like I'm doing it without a firing system, that sort of stuff, you can have that, which I think adds more fun to it, I guess, for me anyway. But if you just continue to watch it there, might see some of those spots. But overall, it was a good show. And like I said, I know this is a lengthy video. Didn't realize how long it was ended up going to be in. So if you stuck with it this far, I greatly appreciate it. So check out the last half of the show that we was able to save.
So we should be getting close. Come on, show
The next morning, cleaning up the aftermath. It's a mess, but not a terrible mess. Like I said, most of this debris that you see is from the foil that was on the racks. Not a big deal. I mean, it'll break down, but we'll get this stuff cleaned up. So I always try to use, like I said, scrap wood, so I don't have to worry about this wood. We'll just take these over on the burn pile and burn it. I've checked all the cakes. Looks like everything went off, including the one that I built over here. It looks like it went fully, but everything went off. So a couple mistimed things, but you have that. Some of my racks timing didn't go like I wanted it to, but had some fires. That's why they weren't crazy fires. As you can see, the whole board didn't burn apart or nothing. Just, cake just burns a little bit. Well, we had the buckets out here, just put water on them. But yeah, we're gonna get this stuff cleaned up. All right, that's it. I greatly appreciate if you watched the whole video. Like I said, didn't realize that until I was editing this, how much I actually filmed, and I actually cut a lot of it out trying to splice it down some. But like I said, overall it was a pretty decent show. There were some gaps that you may see there, but it went good. And like I said, I appreciate you guys watching it. That's how I put it all together, prep it, and fire it off. So that was my show for July 4th, 2024. I know I'm a little late posting this, trying to get caught up on videos. So like I said, appreciate you watching it, and until next 4th of July. So until then, bane on.